Okay, so good morning, everybody. I need to take a brief moment to talk about Top Gun. This is not going to be edited or anything because I have not gotten that much sleep and I really just need to get this off my chest. And when I say we need to talk about Top Gun, no, I'm not talking about Top Gun Maverick. Everyone's been talking about Top Gun Maverick recently, all over the internet. Everyone's raving about how it's a much better movie. It's amazing. It's a miracle. It's crazy that such a thing was even possible. And I laugh at them entirely because any story can have a sequel. Any story. If you have a mind to know how to write it, right? Everyone thinks about things being bigger and more bombastic and yada, yada, yada. But, I mean, that's like saying you had a really good day in high school. Boy, there's no point in ever talking about any of my life after that day, is there? Well, yeah, I'm sure there are loads of reasons to do such thing. But you're going to have to be mindful about how you're telling that story. It's really not rocket science. I won't say it's easy to do, but it's clearly possible. And not just because of Top Gun Maverick, like it's just possible. It's not it's not crazy to think about. But that aside, the reason I want to talk about the original Top Gun is because in watching so many videos about Top Gun Maverick, people have been saying, talking about the original, oh, it's a popcorn film, it's fun. It's just a random 80s flick, blah 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 blah. And as a person who I guarantee you has seen the original Top Gun more than 95% of the people you know, especially during my formative years, um, Top Gun is not a fun movie. It's not. I hate to break it to you. It is a fun movie, but it is also a very real movie that kicks in after. Like, I don't think a lot of people ever think about it. Everyone always talks about it's fun. We talk about the volleyball sequence. We talk about the 80s music and the rock and the fast planes and the attitudes of the pilots. And everyone then, they'll throw in the fact that Goose dies. And that's it. The entire final section of that movie is not a fun movie. Maverick is in mourning and hard, and it literally shifts so much. The tone of the movie changes entirely in the latter half of the movie. So much so, in fact, that I think a lot of people forget that. All they remember is the fun. Like, I recently just watched the movie with some people, and at the beginning they seemed super engaged, but then towards the end it seemed like they were all kind of checked out. And it could be just because they weren't enjoying themselves, but I would argue it's also because the energy of the movie is different. The jokes are gone. The music changes. We don't have all these rock sequences, bunch of fast, high flying craziness. No. Maverick is literally blaming himself for Goose's death. And it's like the culmination of all of the reckless things he's done up to that point, and after which he's he's hurting, and then they have the court sequence where they rule that he was not responsible, and it's like, hey, congratulations, they didn't find you responsible, but that doesn't matter, right? Because if anything, Maverick may have preferred that they found him responsible, because now it all just seems pointless. It feels like I'm not to blame, but it doesn't bring back my best friend. And I'm just supposed to go up there. But a good portion of the reason why I was who I was up there was because of him. Like, he was more than my Rio. He was my best friend. That's what he said to Viper in the bathroom. And he carries that. He doesn't know how to go on because even all that, he thinks back about his father, and at that point, he didn't know the truth about his father. He was trying to figure out, but he knew everybody in the Navy, essentially, his family name had a bad name because of whatever went on with his father that was redacted. So almost no one knew. As far as they knew, his father effed up. And it's like, great, thanks, Pete Mitchell's dad, right? And now he loses Goose, and he just doesn't even know how to go on at that point, and he's lost. Like, it's literally a movie about a character who is fun loving and fancy free, but then something full on real happens. Like in a lot of movies, you have your happy go lucky people, and then it's like, ooh, I pissed off the girl that I liked, or ooh, no, I got in big trouble with my parents, or something happened, and that's like the extent. And it's like, oh man, I really got to turn this around if I want to graduate. No, no, no. This is about a grown ass man who has always just been living by the seat of his pants, but also because he felt like he had to prove something to himself and everyone around him, and now he's questioning his whole existence, basically. And I say that to say that for all the fun that the original Top Gun was, it really it doesn't go as deep into Maverick's character as it could, because again, it's still supposed to be a fun movie, but you see him shift, you see him partially grow, which is why in this movie, Maverick that is, I immediately felt it. I immediately felt like I'm watching this man who has come to terms with who he is, but still partially carries that guilt, even though he wasn't to blame. It was like he's now thinking about all the things he did in the past. Should I have done something differently? Should I not have? Did it even matter? But yeah. So again, I say all that to say that all of you who keep thinking of Top Gun as just a random 80s popcorn flick, it's actually a bit deeper than that. It cuts a little bit deeper than just a fun movie. So just thought you all should know. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoy coming to my TED Talk and my giant ass Mothra back there.